It's Valentine's Day, and I hope I'm not interrupting anything by posting at this time. Whether you be, at a romantic date or at the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. But last time you were here, I sorted a handful of romance webtoons into several different categories. A few of which are Power Dynamics, School Love, Starcrossed Lovers, and others. Here are all of them. But today is quite the important day. Today, we get to analyze each category for its strengths and weaknesses, finding out which category is the best, and then finding the webtoon in that category that is the best, the ideal, the perfect relationship. But before we get started, people did mention some webtoons, a few of which weren't actual romance webtoons, but two that I'd like to mention are Days of Hana, a webtoon that I didn't get a chance to read too much, but I got really sad while reading, so I'm going to put it into Starcrossed Lovers. And another one was Socializing 101, one I accidentally got hooked onto and binged in one day. Kinda hate you for mentioning it, but I think it goes into opposite attracts. So with 12 categories, how can we determine which is the best? Well, there are some categories that lead to the ideal relationship. We have little steps or processes, things to think of when you think of the ideal relationship. The first thing we have is time. How much time do you have to achieve this relationship? Ideally, you would want as much time as possible to get with the person that you want to date. So the more time, the better. Next is propinquity. According to Google, it's the state of being close to someone or something. But really think of it more of an affection level in a video game. But, in real life. Typically, the closer you are to someone, like physically, the more likely you are able to develop feelings for one another. So the more often you're close to someone, the better. So in a relationship, you want high propinquity. Our other two, you probably want a low mountain though. Coincidence and drama. Coincidence is the chance of running into this person, kind of like the opposite of propinquity, in which a high amount of coincidence means you're unlikely to see that person again. Drama is a weird one, to be sure. We see the effects of having too much drama, but to some people, you might want a little drama. You might want to spice things up. Drama is the problems that occur because, during, or even after of a relationship. You probably want a low amount of drama in your relationship, but let's keep it fair and say you don't want zero. That might lead to someone having a boring and dull relationship. And we take a look at any extra pros or cons to that type of relationship. Now, let's eliminate two right off the bat. Love stories and not enough love. Love stories has the problem with the system of having too many forms of love. Some of them are extremely coincidental and have no time to develop, while others have all the time in the world to develop. So it doesn't really work in the system. So that one's axed. Not enough love just doesn't have enough of their story developed to fulfill any parts of this system. It's just because the relationship hasn't started. But with those two done, we have 10 categories for this system to work with. Let's talk about not so great love stories. With this category, we have relationships that are both too little love and too much love. But let's talk about the system. Not so great love stories doesn't tend to have a ton of things in common, but they do tend to have a lot of time together. So propinquity and time are both kind of high. We'll also put a medium amount of coincidence, for the sole purpose of it depending on the type of relationship. But for drama, there is a ton of drama in these relationships. I called out Minith and Hades, Emma and Elios, but another one to call out is Persephone and Apollo. We've all read those latest chapters. This punk is making me want to swear on this channel, but that's neither here nor there. The point is that you shouldn't be in these relationships. But what's interesting is the other person in the relationship. They're not dumb, they don't want to be in it. Well, I guess mainly in Hades' case. He understands that the relationship isn't good for him, but he stays in it because Hades is a good person. Yes, the Lord of the Underworld is a good person. He doesn't want to hurt Minith because he knows she's already hurting so much. There are no pros to this relationship, just get out. That took a very strange turn. Let's go back to talking about relationships. Close Friends Lovers is our next one. Looking through these webtoons, the system kind of works. With most of these, there are some differences, from couples who met through school to others who met online, and some who've lived together. But time and propinquity are both high. while drama is rather mixed. Since they are so close, they often see eye to eye on many situations. And they are often very open towards each other. We see with Fishball and her giant nerd boyfriend, they both have waifus and husbandus. Husbandus? Yeah, I don't know. And both are open up to tell each other about which is which. And they both can make fun of each other in a loving manner. However, being friends first can land in some difficult situations. In Kind of Confidential, we see the problem being too close of friends. You end up staying friends. And dating your friend in a friend group can lead to problems. If you break up, it can lead to a weird dynamic among your friends. Coincidence-wise, it's also rather low. There's a good chance to eventually date someone that you're close to and open with, especially if you're the type of person who likes to play things safe. Meanwhile, Starcrossed Lovers offers more problems than not. In many of these webtoons, we have two people that typically spend a short amount of time together. Note Castle Swimmer, My Boo, Rising Sun, and Sunset Sky. That they all spent rather short amounts of time together. They spend at least a few days to at most a few months. They typically, though, spend that time together all the time. In My Boo, they live together for a few months. And in Castle Swimmer, they spend that time when he's supposed to be killing him, just talking and hanging out. So while time is low, propinquity is actually pretty high. And coincidence is rather high as well. You know, you probably won't move into a house with a ghost, or be part of a prophecy in which the person you're romantically attracted to has to kill you, to help free your people from a plague. And the term star-crossed lovers doesn't exactly help in the drama department. I just mentioned your romantic partner killing you not 3 seconds ago. The whole point of star-crossed lovers is that the problems arise in such a short amount of time. You know, typically a relationship that doesn't work or isn't supposed to last. Someone that you don't want to go into with. So don't fall in love with a ghost. I guess that's all I have to tell you. We also have workplace love, a good contender for the best relationship based on this system. You see, most people spend the rest of their lives working. Now in reality, you probably won't be dating for the rest of your life. Most people start working during college, but let's say you start working around 20 years old. And you stop dating at around 40. That's still around 20 years to try to pursue someone that you're interested in. So this category is in contention for the most amount of time. And since you're working with someone you'd want to date, propinquity is rather high as well. And coincidence is pretty low. Anywhere from 16 to 20% of married couples meet at work. It's actually going down because of online dating, but you know, whatever. But the main problem here is the drama. Don't get me wrong, a lot of these have well done relationships at work. However, some problems arise when you start ignoring others and focusing on each other. And it will definitely be awkward if you break up. But there are some pros. You're gonna meet someone with similar interests if you work at the same place. Now let's talk about one that has the most and least amount of time. Childhood love. You see, if you're in this category, you technically have all the time in the world until the person you're interested in gets married or gets into a relationship. However, to be in this category, you have to be childhood friends with someone. You have to be close with someone that you're interested in, or could be interested in, at a young age. It's unlikely that you can actually control this, however. But once you're in it, you have a lot of time to get into this relationship. And propinquity is quite well, and coincidence isn't that high. Because we all have friends, you know? So everything works out pretty well. But drama might be an issue here. With this category, you might break a really long friendship because only you caught feelings. And this is kind of the scenario a lot of people are in. They don't want to ruin a relationship and date a childhood friend because they don't want to ruin that relationship. Man, that got really sad. Opposites attract. Actually, just one of my favorite relationship categories. There's something about two completely different people catching feelings for each other and falling in love that just makes me so happy. However, it does present some problems. Since they're opposites, they tend to need more time to develop their relationship, since they typically hate each other when they first meet. And they need to overcome their first encounters to even be friends, and then work their way into being in a romantic relationship. However, they're often pushed together so much, because of how different they are, that they overcome their little quirks rather quickly. A lot of the time, they barely know each other, however spend the small amount of time they know each other together. Windrose and My Boyfriend of the Dead show how they can find people that are so different than themselves, enjoyable, and often suitable for attraction. Of course, it's kinda coincidental to find someone who is basically the opposite of you, but it's still possible to find that person. Drama can be pretty middle of the road. Sometimes the differences in your personalities can lead into a disagreement and distance. Boyfriend of the Dead is a prime example of these. These two are super different, which could result in some fights, but they always come back together. Unsurprisingly, the category called Unusual Situations / Chance Encounters has the highest coincidence, and the lowest amount of time to engage. But it's actually the most risk-free. You see someone you like, you engage. You miss, then you move on, or you hit and then you got it. Typically low amounts of everything except coincidence. If you're confident, this is the one for you. Typically no drama, typically no propinquity, and typically no time. Just high amounts of coincidence. The power dynamic is basically the workplace love, except higher amounts of drama. You know, dating the boss is usually pretty dramatic. I even found an article titled, Why You Shouldn't Date Your Boss. So it's probably not the best idea to date your boss, queen, whatever Webtoons likes to promote. Love triangles have the highest amount of basically everything. If you're in a love triangle, you'd want to spend as much time as possible with the person you like. So they like you more than the other person. So propinquity is high. But so is coincidence and drama. What are the chances that you and someone else will be fighting for someone's love? And the fighting for someone's love part puts you in a lot of dramatic situations. Don't go into one of these. Probably for the best. And finally, we have the most popular one. School love. And yeah, I get it. You spend a lot of time at school. So you're likely to spend a lot of time with someone you're interested in, and even their friends. Building relationships. The chance of meeting someone at school is low, and the drama can be mixed. Of course, there's going to be some drama, but it's usually nothing too major. So out of all of these, which is the best? Well, the school's power okay, look. When I first started this two-parter, I thought it'd be something like game theory. But with Webtoons, I could analyze a bunch of romance Webtoons and give you guys the best one. The most ideal and perfect advice I could give you. Finding the best relationship. Finding out how to be a perfect partner so that you guys can go out and maybe find someone. Maybe do something with romance, with love. But that's not what these Webtoons are about. They're not teaching us about the perfect or most ideal relationship. They're teaching us about every type of relationship. Because there is no one perfect or ideal relationship. The relationship I want will be different than the one you want. So let's make one category. Just love. And put them all in there. Even the bad relationships. Even the ones that don't have enough love. Because no matter what, relationships are built on love. Even the ones that seem bad to us. Those might just come from not enough love, an overbearing amount of love. Even unrequited love. Love comes in all forms. I have no advice to offer you guys. In the end, love can't be taught. It can't be learned. It can't be helped. Love is just love. It comes natural. To us. To everyone. So, if you're watching the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, or you're sitting home alone, it's okay. It'll be okay. It'll come to you one day. Just be patient. But, like always, thank you for watching.